China-Taiwan war games have begun. Beijing has launched military exercises around Taiwan for 3 days. Now, the move comes days after a meeting in California between Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen and U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Taiwan's defense ministry said at least 8 Chinese warships and over 40 fighter jets were detected around the island on Saturday. Chinese Army's Eastern Theater Command said that the military exercises called United Sharp Sword are for combat preparedness. The military statement said that the exercise will involve police patrol drills in the Taiwan Strait to the north and south of Taiwan and in the sea and airspace to the east of Taiwan. The maritime authorities said that China will even hold live fire drills off the Fujian coast on Monday, the last day of the exercises. These drills, the Chinese Army has said, are a stern warning against Taiwan's separatist forces. Taiwan's defense ministry has hit out, saying that China's move threatens regional stability and security. President Tsai Ing-wen pledged to work with the U.S. and other like-minded countries in the face of what she called was continued authoritarian expansionism. Last year, Chinese military's Eastern Theater Command had sent more than 1,700 aircraft into Taiwan's air defense identification zone. That, as per Taiwan, is even more than double the number from a year earlier. Taiwan says that China has continued to use gray zone tactics to test Taiwan's response. Gray zone tactics include sending drones, balloons, and fishing boats to areas close to Taiwan. Now, the latest announcement by the People's Liberation Army comes after China vowed a resolute response to the meeting between U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen. China had dubbed the meeting as an erroneous act of collusion between the United States and Taiwan. China's foreign ministry said that the meeting gravely violated the One China principle. Taiwan's defense ministry said that China has used the President Tsai's visit and the transits in the United States as an excuse to conduct military exercises. Beijing claims Taiwan as a part of its territory to be seized one day, even by force if required. However, many Taiwanese people consider their self-ruled island to be distinct, whether or not independence is ever officially declared. Now, recently, Xi Jinping said that China must modernize its military to make it a Great Wall of Steel. Xi also said that China must oppose the pro-independence and successionist activities and interference of external forces. Beijing plans to control strategic choke points and deny access to foreign forces. Now, for more on this, we are being joined by Ross Darrell Feingold, who is a political analyst from Taiwan. Thank you for being with us. Now, for the benefit of our viewers, can you help us to understand what happens during a drill? How does one know if a drill was conducted successfully?
That's kind of in the hands of the Chinese side. So, of course, they're going to say that no matter the size or which parts of their military are involved. In this case, they've publicly said it's air, sea, and information warfare capabilities. Of course, they're going to say it's a success. Another way to look at your question is, how do we here in Taiwan, whether that's the public in general, the government, politicians, military, even the corporate world, how does Taiwan and its key security partner, the United States, respond to this? And again, looking at it just from the perspective of being here on the ground in Taiwan, I can tell you very similar to when Nancy Pelosi visited last August and China engaged in very large-scale military exercises. There's a little bit of attention to this, but generally speaking, it's business as normal. And people aren't really stopping what they're doing here today to look at the TV news and see what the latest is from Chinese military exercises. So from the perspective of planning or worrying about Taiwan's security, there's definitely more that the people and the government here in Taiwan can do. And absolutely within the coming hours or days, China is going to issue more statements saying that the current exercises were a success, and it demonstrates their capabilities to use force against Taiwan in the future should they decide to do so. And on that last part, whether it's Taiwan or Japan or the United States, they need to take that very, very seriously.
Yeah. Now, we are seeing a growing number of these drills taking place in the South and East China Sea. How serious a threat are these drills to peace in the region?
Well, just the scope or the frequency of these drills, it causes other countries to worry, of course, but on a more practical level, the more that these assets are deployed, the more likely it is becomes or more likely of a likelihood of an accident happening. Generally, other countries view parts of these areas as international waterways, and that's why the United States frequently sends its ships and its planes through these areas. Other countries have competing sovereignty claims with China, so it certainly increases the likelihood of an accident. But then there's a really important other aspect to this as well. As China invests more money and improves its technology and practices or engages in exercises, whether in the East China Sea, the South China Sea, as they combine information warfare with their air force and naval capabilities, or their missile forces and other parts of their military, then obviously it makes it more likely that China can enforce its sovereignty claims around the region. And again, other countries need to take appropriate countermeasures.
Right. Ross, thank you very much for being with us and your valued insights, the latest coming out of Taiwan.
Thank you.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.